Southeast Coast, back to the heartland, now to Hollywood. It's a $153.3 million four-year deal, the max. Ramona Shelbourne reports LeBron agent called Lakers president of basketball ops, Magic Johnson, minutes before he sent the announcement tweet. Then he called Cavs GM Kobe Altman. Then they hit send. And just like that, 8:05 Eastern, 5:05 in LA, the world knew, as they assumed, LeBron will be a Laker. Thank you, Northeast Ohio, for an incredible 4 seasons. This will always be home. James' impact in downtown Cleveland and his hometown of Akron for kids there is nearly immeasurable. He has given as much as he received. And then later on Sunday, Dan Gilbert's statement, much different than the first time LeBron left Cleveland. We will always remember the evening, June 19, 2016. The Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, ended a 52-year drought, delivering the long elusive championship that many thought they would never see. A championship that unified generations of Clevelanders, both living and past. The entire Cavaliers franchise thanks LeBron for that precious moment and for all the excitement he delivered as he led our team to 4 straight NBA Finals appearances. We look forward to the retirement of the famous number 3 Cavs jersey one day down the line. It was around Christmas time. We're in the cafeteria, and I asked you, so where's LeBron going to go? And you said, probably the Lakers. So we all kind of knew this was going to kind of happen. Oh, you did, not me. Give us the headlines. When we look back 3 to 5 years from now, what will this night, be in your terms, in terms of the headline?
This is a seismic move for LeBron James, for the Lakers, for the NBA to have the athlete of this generation and maybe ever in this sport to go to the franchise in LA. And people in Boston will argue that, but there's something about LA and the West Coast and the Showtime Lakers and Hollywood for LeBron James. This is such a bigger play than just trying to win a championship with the Lakers. This is planting his flag in Hollywood, the entertainment industry, and having Magic Johnson not just running basketball operations in LA, but him as a mentor, as a guide for all the things LeBron James wants to do in business for the rest of his career and then beyond his basketball career. In every way, it makes sense.
Yeah, his global brand is really unlike anything. We know Michael had a big brand, but LeBron's all in on the entertainment aspect you talked about. LA makes perfect sense. But is this a 2-year plan in terms of really competing? Because it doesn't look like, well, Bobby Marks in our next segment, our front office insider, it doesn't look like there's a lot of room to do anything this year in terms of adding Kawhi or DeMarcus Cousins or anybody now.
Yeah, and they brought in some interesting guys here to support him, like some guys who've been part of winning, but Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, there's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope comes in, so returns with LA, and those are 1-year short-term guys.
Right.
They're going to try to figure out now how to get Kawhi Leonard, whether they do that in a trade, which became much harder with that Caldwell-Pope commitment today, or free agency next year when Leonard will be a free agent 2019. He opts out. He wants out of San Antonio. They have talked about some deal points with the Spurs. The Spurs and Lakers have talked. But if Leonard gets traded somewhere else, do the Lakers, the fear is they end up right back where they were with Paul George,
right,
where it went so well for him somewhere else, he stayed. If he gets traded to Boston or Philly, likes it, decides to stay, and they never get access to Kawhi Leonard. But right now, Kawhi Leonard feels like Paul George did last year. I want to be a Laker. I'll get there in free agency. We'll see if there's not a trade, if indeed Kawhi Leonard does that. But a Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, those two, you'll go play any other team's 2 guys with those 2 players.
No doubt about it. You're right. A seismic shift, as Woj mentioned. LeBron is a Laker.
Well, despite LeBron moving into their division, the Warriors remain the odds-on favorite to win the NBA title next season, as they should. But the Lakers are now tied with the Celtics for the second-best odds at 7-2. And not surprisingly, look what happened to the Cavs. They're now at 500-1 to win it all. All right, to get a little more perspective on this, we bring in First Take Stephen A. Smith. Stephen, let's go back a couple years when LeBron went to Miami. It shook up the entire league. It surprised some when he went back to Cleveland. This move to LA, a lot of people expected for quite some time. But having said that, what does this move say about the current state of the NBA?
Well, it just said, people can look at it and they could lament the lack of parity because all the best players seem to be in the Western Conference. There's no doubt about that. It's one of those things that'll prompt discussion as to whether or not the commissioner needs to revisit seedings in the playoffs instead of having 8 teams in the East, 8 teams in the West. Just do 1-16 and get it over with so we can have some semblance of competition. But I really don't care about that right now. I'm from the streets of New York City, the big city, the bright lights and what have you. LA is obviously the second largest market in the country, Chicago being third. And between those 3 cities, there are